skill development, economic support, and focused welfare schemes. Triker works with a clear mission to support the scheduled tribes, especially those in the most backward and remote areas. And the key objectives are firstly, it's the holistic development of scheduled tribes with special focus on tribal subplan TSP areas, which are renamed as Tribal Special Development Fund for 2018 from 2018. And another objective is financial assistance to the poor scheduled tribes families for income generating activities. It's basically to provide them funds, money. It's basically like giving financial assistance to these ST families in order to start something, maybe some business, which could lead them to generate some income for their survival. So, financial assistance to poor ST families for income generating activities. And then another objective is skill development training. The striker also enables tribal youth to find jobs or start their own businesses by training them in various skills. And then we have filling funding gaps in economic support schemes. And another objective is focused development of particularly vulnerable tribal groups, PVTGs like Chenjos. Triker is managed at multiple levels to ensure effective implementation. We have head office, which designs policies based on annual action plans and sends them to districts and monitors implementation. And then we have Commissioner of Tribal Welfare, who acts as an ex officio managing director. And then it is also assisted by Deputy General Manager and other staff. And the funds mobilized from state and central governments and banks and financial institutes. And funds are also mobilized from 6% from the local bodies and 12% from tribal subplan TSP departments. In ITDA districts like Khammam, Warangal, Adilabad, programs are implemented by integrated tribal development agencies. In non-ITDA districts, they are managed by district level committees with district collector as chairman and district tribal welfare officer as the member secretary. And their special arrangements includes ITDA for Chenchus in Mahbubnagar and Nalgonda, and MADA. MADA means Modified Area Development Authority for tribal areas in Nalgonda and Mahbubnagar. So these are the major activities of Triker. Firstly, economic support activities. It provides financial help to ST families to start businesses or activities in agriculture, in fisheries, animal husbandry, minor irrigation, industries, and services. It also provides subsidy up to 60% of unit cost, which is subject to 1 lakh, which can change over time. And the online applications are taken through OBMMS portal for maintaining transparency. The goal is to help ST families become self-reliant through livelihood activities. And then another major activity is self-employment and skill development. Riker focuses strongly on empowering tribal youth for skilling by skilling them. And the approach includes mainly like orientation programs. Orientation programs are those which increases or creates awareness to inform youth about the opportunities they have. Those are called orientation programs. And then we have skill training and job placement. It happens in tie-up with both the government and the private institutions. And then also there's direct planning drives, which brings jobs to the tribal areas, and entrepreneurial development programs, which are training for youth to start small businesses. So, what's the outcome expected because of self employment and development? The expected outcome is job creation, income generation, and a confident, skilled tribal workforce. Conservative come development plan. This program is exclusively designed for particularly vulnerable tribal groups, which are PVTGs, like the Chenchus, who live in very isolated, very forested, and very underdeveloped areas. They are much backward compared to the other tribes. And CCDP focuses on habitat based development. Habitat based development means all round improvement of the living environment. And also, it focuses on socio-economic support. Socio-economic support, which is tailored means which is made to the unique needs of each PVTG group. So, these are specifically made for one particular group based on what they need, based on the needs they have. And they are not generalizing same kind of needs, I mean, same kind of framework for all the groups. They are particularly making each separate programs for each group because each of them have different needs. So based on those needs, they're making separate tailored groups. And key activities under CCDP. It's multi-purpose community buildings. Firstly, multi-purpose community buildings. These buildings are for meetings, training, storage, and etc. And another activity, major activity, is the internal roads and the drainage in order to improve the connectivity and the sanitation. And the corpus funds for self-help groups in order to start income generating activities and any other urgent need which is identified in the local area if not covered by any other scheme. The goal is to transform the lives of PVTGs by addressing both basic and economic needs in a focused and a more sustainable way. So the Triker is more than just a finance body. It's a catalyst for transforming tribal communities. It ensures that scheduled tribes in Telangana they get access to funds, training, jobs, and sustainable livelihoods, whether through small business subsidies, training programs, or targeted support to PVTGs. And Triker helps build dignity and self-reliance among the scheduled tribe families. Now let's look into the corporation for the backward classes. It is Backward Classes Cooperative Finance Corporation. The Telangana Backward Classes Cooperative Finance Corporation, TSBCCFC, it is a government established body which is dedicated in improving the economic and social status of the backward classes in Telangana. It was originally formed in 1974 as a part of Andhra Pradesh, and after the state bifurcation in 2014, it became a separate Telangana entity as per Schedule 9 of the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act 2014. It operates under the constitutional provisions supporting social justice, which is Article 14 and 16 subclause 4. And the objectives of this corporation is it focuses on uplifting BC communities, especially those below the poverty line, by supporting them to create income generating assets and access to institutional finance. And the main objectives are to undertake welfare and economic activities for BCs and to provide financial assistance for self-employment ventures and to implement margin money scheme, which helps BC beneficiaries get loans with only 20% of the unit cost as contribution. So some of the programs implemented by TSBCCFC are it supports BC individuals and groups through subsidies and credit linked schemes in key economic sectors, in sectors like agriculture, in fisheries, in animal husbandry, in minor irrigation, in industries, services, business sectors. And its organizational structure consists of a head office at the top, which is managed by a board of directors, including government development officials, non official members, and chairman of the corporation. And then we have district level implementation, which consists of district backward classes service cooperative societies, which is registered under Cooperative Societies Act 1975, headed by an executive director and district collector as the chairman. In addition to TSBCCFC, the state also supports specialized federations for specific BC communities. These federations receive financial aid from government to conduct targeted welfare and development programs, and the federations include Telangana Washermen Cooperative Federation, Telangana Sagara Cooperative Federation, Telangana Krishna Balaji Pusala Federation, Telangana Kumari Shali Vahana Federation, and etc. Each of these federation they work for specific caste or community welfare within the broader BC category by implementing social, cultural, and economic development schemes. The Telangana Backward Classes Cooperative Finance Corporation and related BC federations they play a vital role in empowering backward communities through financial aid, through self-employment support, and district level implementation. The cooperation ensures BCs are given equal opportunities for economic growth and dignity. Now let's look into the corporations for women. State Women's Cooperative Development Corporation, which is TSWCDC. The Women's Cooperative Development Corporation was first started in 1975. Its main aim was to empower women. That means helping women become stronger, independent, and capable, especially in areas like education, jobs, and entrepreneurship. It was registered under a law called the Andhra Pradesh Cooperative Societies Act 1964, which allowed the formation of cooperative bodies that are partly independent from the government. And in 2014, when Telangana became a separate state, the original Women's Corporation was split into two, which is Andhra Pradesh Women Cooperative Development Corporation, which remained in Andhra, and Telangana State Women Cooperative Development Corporation for the new state of Telangana. So, what does it do? The Telangana State Women Cooperative Development Corporation, it became fully active in 2017, and it is a non-profit organization, which means it does not aim to make money but to help women. It focuses mostly on gender development, which is about improving the status and opportunities for women in the society. To train women in different job skills like tailoring, computing, healthcare, etc., is one of the main missions. And another mission is to help them find jobs or start their own small businesses and to make women in rural areas stronger and more independent. Some centers, special centers like Durgabai Mahila Sishu Vikasa Kendrams, these centers are opened in every district of Telangana. And their job is to offer vocational training, means job related skills. They offer vocational training, they help women get employment, and they teach useful skills in both technical and service sectors as well. Technical means like they help them in learning electronics, and service sectors like it depends on various field like different services like it can be healthcare, it can be beauty parlors, etc. So through these trainings and through imparting these skills, they help women get employment. And these Durgabai Mahila Sishu Vikasa Kendrams, they are opened in every district in order to empower the women. Its major activities include firstly skill training. They train unemployed women in they train unemployed women in like embroidery, like sari printing, leather work, etc. Also training for health workers. They train Anganwadi workers, ASHA workers, and etc. who are important in health and nutrition field. And also marketing support. They help women sell their handmade products through exhibitions, trade fairs, and buyer-seller meets. And women's hostels. They manage hostels for working women who need a safe place to stay. And bridge schools. They run schools to help school dropouts. Girls who dropouts means those girls who left the school early. So they help these dropouts to continue their education. They bridge schools. And also they provide support for NGOs. They help process proposals from NGOs that run women's empowerment programs and connect them with funding from the government. Also, they provide shelter for needy women. They offer temporary stay to homeless, abandoned, or needy women. The cooperation gets money from central government, Telangana state government, and other government departments like health, rural development, SC, ST, BC corporations, and ITDA. The state government also helps them with office costs and running the district centers. Some vocational programs include like block printing and dyeing, embroidery, making soft toys, and sari printing, making leather goods, and also assembling electric and electronic items. And they also provide some courses like computers and accounting. They provide courses like DTP. DTP means desktop publishing, and also lab technician training, community and multi-purpose health workers, and personal secretary, beautician, garment designing, etc. Since 1991, the centers also trained Anganwadi workers through job courses and refresher training. Now let's look into corporations for minorities. State Minorities Finance and Development Corporation. This corporation is focused on helping minority communities like Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Parsis, Buddhists, and Jains to help minority people who are poor to to get better lives, to get help them get better lives through education, jobs, skill training, and starting small businesses. By giving financial help, training, and guidance to start businesses. So, how does it help? It helps by giving financial help, training, and guidance to start businesses. It also helps by launching special schemes focused on women and children of minority communities. Also, it focuses on students by providing them educational scholarships and support, and also through job training and employment opportunities. Since the 1970s, the government began setting up separate development corporations for weaker sections of the society. These corporations are different from regular government departments. They work independently. They focus on specific groups like SC, ST, BC, women, minorities, and they create special programs for those groups. And they mainly focus on vocational training, financial assistance, linking beneficiaries to banks, markets, and supports. They are meant to empower people through self reliance. Self reliance means earning their own income. And these are some challenges which they face. Like the challenges they face include insufficient funding means they don't have enough money, and the lack of government support, outdated schemes, which can be very unprofitable. So it's important to stay up to date, and difficulty in marketing women's products. These are some challenges faced by the development corporations. So we have finished this unit. Now let's look into block 5. We have completed block 4. Block 5 consists of 3 units, unit 12, 13 and 14. Today let's discuss unit 12, and in the next class let's discuss the last 2 units. So what is interstate relations? In the world there are mainly 2 types of government systems. Firstly, we have unitary system and we have federal system. In unitary system, all the power is with the central government, and the states are local units that do not have much power of their own. Example, United Kingdom and France. So basically the central government is the supreme. They have all the powers. And in federal system, the powers are shared between the central government and the state governments. Both levels have their own powers and areas of control. Example, like in our country, India and USA and Canada, we have federal system. We have union list, we have state list, we have concurrent list. And these powers are shared between center and the state governments. The purpose of this federal system is to manage a large and diverse country like India more effectively. But in a federal system, just dividing powers is not enough. It is important that the union and the state governments they work together. The states also maintain good relations among themselves. This is where the concept of interstate relation becomes important. Interstate relations refer to the cooperation, communication, and coordination between different states of India. Smooth and peaceful relations among states help in unity, progress, and peace of the country. Federal system in India. In a federal system like India, there is one central government that takes care of the entire country, and there are individual state governments that take care of the respective states. Each level of government has been given powers by the Indian Constitution, and they work within those powers. The central government can make laws for the whole country, while the state governments can make laws for their own states. However, they cannot interfere in each other's area of work unless the Constitution allows it. To change these powers, we need a constitutional amendment, which means both the center and the states must agree to the changes. This keeps a balance of power. And another important part of a federal system is the judiciary, which is independent. And in India, we have the Supreme Court and High Courts to solve the disputes between the center and the states or between the states themselves. The history of federalism in India. India did not become federal overnight. It took a long time to reach this structure. The first big step was the Government of India Act 1935, which passed by the British Parliament. And before this act, almost all the powers was with the central government. The 1935 Act, it tried to divide powers between the center and provinces. Provinces are what we now call the states. It is also planned to make princely states a part of the federal structure. But this idea did not fully work out because many princely states they did not join, and World War II began. And after India got independence in 1947, the leaders who were writing the constitution they decided to adopt a federal structure, a strong central government. The Constitution of India refers to India as a union of states. Even though the word federal is not used, the structure is clearly federal with dual governments, center and states, and division of powers, and also it has independent judiciary. So, how are these powers divided in India? Article 246 of the Constitution of India, it divides the powers into three lists. We have union list, state list, and concurrent list. Union list consists of subjects on which only the central government can make laws like defense, foreign affairs, currency, etc. And the state list consists of subjects on which only state governments can make laws. Example, police, public health, agriculture. And concurrent list consists of subjects on which both the center and the state can make laws. But if there is any conflict, the central law prevails. And it consists of education, forests, marriage laws, etc. This system was inspired by the Canadian model of federalism, which also gives more power to the central government, even though it is a federal. Some experts say that Indian system is a quasi-federal. That means it looks like a federal system, but has strong central powers, especially during the emergencies or any kind of special situations. Federalism and parliamentary system. India has also adopted parliamentary system of government, like the Kingdom, where the executive like prime minister or chief minister, they are drawn from the legislature, like from parliament or state assemblies. And some people think federalism and parliamentary systems don't always go together. But in India, both systems work side by side. In a parliamentary system, the executive plays an important role in managing relations between the center and the state, as well as in between the states. So, how India manages intergovernmental relations? To ensure good relations between center and states and among states, India has set up many institutions and forums. These help in solving disputes, planning development, and promoting cooperation. Some of them are Interstate Council, National Development Council, Niti Aayog, Zonal Council, Interstate Tribunals, National Water Resources Council, etc. So, why the interstate relations are important? India is a big and diverse country with many different languages, cultures, and needs. Each state has its own identity and priorities, but all states are part of one nation. That's why peaceful and cooperation relations between states are very important. For example, states may need to share rivers and resolve disputes over water. They may need to coordinate on roads and transports, and also the migration of people, trade, and businesses. Between states must be smooth, and also states may need to help each other in times of natural disasters. The Constitution provides laws and guidelines to manage all such matters, but beyond the laws, there must be mutual respect, cooperation, and dialogue among states. Interstate mechanism in India. India is a federal country, and for the country to run smoothly, not only should the center and states work together, but also states must cooperate among themselves. This relationship between different states in India is called as interstate relations. And the systems and tools used to manage these relations are called as interstate mechanisms. These mechanisms help in avoiding conflicts between states, to solve the disputes between states, and to promote cooperation and joint development. India's constitution provides many such mechanisms. Some of them are also outside the constitution, but still important. So, the main constitutional and legal provisions for interstate cooperation are firstly, Article 261, which is a mutual respect for laws and judgments. The article says that every state and the union must respect and accept the public acts, official records, and court rulings of the other states. For example, if a person gets a court order in Maharashtra, it must also be respected in Karnataka or any other state. This helps in maintaining legal unity across India and avoids confusion. And then we have Supreme Court as dispute resolver, Article 131. Sometimes states may disagree on issues like boundaries, water sharing, taxes, or property. To solve such disputes, the Supreme Court of India is given original jurisdiction. This means the state can directly approach the Supreme Court without going to the lower courts. This ensures that the state level disputes are handled fairly and quickly by the highest authority in the country. And we have river valley development boards. When rivers flow across multiple states, the development of entire river valley needs cooperation. The central government can set up a river valley development board. This board includes members from the concerned states and helps plan and manage the use of river resources together. It avoids unnecessary fights between the states over rivers and promotes shared development. And we have interstate water dispute, which is Article 262. Water is a very common cause of disputes in India. Example, we have seen Kaveri water dispute between Karnataka and Telangana. And to manage this, the parliament can pass laws to set up tribunals like special courts to handle the interstate water disputes. These central water tribunals, they work like high courts. The states must accept their decision. And this is an extrajudicial solution, which means it works outside of the regular court for faster resolution. And we have Article 263, which is Interstate Council. This is one of the most important mechanisms. The Interstate Council was set up in 1990 based on Article 263. It helps the states talk, share views, and solve common problems together. It has the following functions like it looks into and advises on disputes between states, and it studies and discusses issues where both the central and state or two or more states have common interests like transport, forest, education. It also makes suggestions on how to improve cooperation and better coordination. And the President of India decides how this council will be organized and how it will work. It includes the Prime Minister as the chairman, and also it includes all the chief ministers and some union ministers and administrators. This council is not a court, it is an advisory body, but it plays a key role in promoting cooperative federalism. And we have zonal councils for regional cooperation. The States Reorganization Act of 1956, they created zonal councils. These are forums. These are forums where states in particular region meet to discuss common issues. And there are six zonal councils like Northern Zonal Council, we have Southern, we have Eastern, Western, Central, and Northeastern. Northeastern Council is a bit different in structure, and each council has states and union territories from that zone. And they discuss things like border disputes, transport, health, education, crime control, etc. It also helps states to coordinate policies and work together for regional development. These are not decision making bodies, but they are very helpful for cooperation and conflict prevention. And then we have Parliament's power on interstate trade and commerce. The Indian Parliament has authority to regulate trade and commerce between the states. This helps make sure that there is smooth movement of goods and services across state borders. This is important for economy as businesses should not be affected by state level barriers. So why are these mechanisms necessary? In every federation like India, states have their own powers. but sometimes they may clash or compete with each other. And the disputes are natural, like in big family, there can be differences. That's why it's important to have courts to judge disputes and tribunals to settle special cases. And we need councils to prevent disputes through discussions and cooperations. These mechanisms together keep Indian Union strong and united while also respecting the rights of the states. Interstate relations in India. Firstly, we have recognition of acts, records, and codes, court judgments of other states. Let's say a person is legally married in Maharashtra, and now if that person goes to Tamil Nadu, their marriage should still be valid there. Similarly, if a person has a court order from Delhi court, it should be accepted in Karnataka too. This is only possible if all the states recognize and respect each other's laws, documents, and court decisions. This is ensured by Article 261, Clause 1 of the Indian Constitution. It says that all public acts, laws, records, and judicial proceedings of one state must be accepted in every other state. And we have settlement of disputes between states, especially water disputes. Sometimes states get into disagreements, especially about sharing rivers, electricity, and boundaries. These disagreements need to be solved peacefully. So we have Article 131, 262, and 263 to solve these disputes. So these are some key water disputes. Basically, water is a very sensitive issue. States feel strongly about rivers that flow through them. And here are some real cases. Firstly, we have Krishna water dispute, in which Krishna River flows through Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh, now also Telangana. The dispute led to the formation of Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal in 1969, and the final award was given in 1973. And the second tribunal was formed in 2004, and a draft decision came in 2010. And after Telangana was formed in 2014, it also wanted a fresh tribunal as it was not a part of earlier decisions. And we also have Kaveri water dispute between Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, and Puducherry. And Supreme Court directed the central government to create Kaveri Water Management Authority to manage the water sharing. To avoid delay in future cases, the government proposed the Interstate River Water Disputes Amendment Bill 2017. It plans to set up a single permanent tribunal for all such disputes. This body would be faster and more efficient. Coordination between states. Apart from solving problems, states should also work together on common issues like roads, transport, education, and health. And for this, India has zonal councils. These zonal councils are created under States Reorganization Act 1956, and there are 5 zones: northern, southern, eastern, western, and central. And a union home minister acts as a common chairman for all the zonal councils. The purpose of the zonal council is to encourage cooperation and unity among states, and to solve issues, and to develop habit of working together. And also we have a Northeastern Council, which was formed in 1971, which deals with issues in northeastern states. And these councils play a big role in making sure the whole country develops together. And we have interstate trade and commerce. India is one nation, so goods, people, and businesses should be free to move across the state borders. Otherwise, every state would become like a separate country, which is not the aim of federalism. This freedom is given under Article 301 to 307 in the Part 13 of the Constitution. In the introduction of Goods and Services Tax (GST), it simplified the taxation. Earlier, goods moving from one state to another were taxed multiple times, And GST created one common market across India, changing nature of interstate relations. Over the years, the Indian federalism has evolved a lot. It has gone through different political phases. Like in 1967 elections, Congress lost in many states and regional parties grew stronger. This created new tensions between center and state. In the 1977 elections, first non-Congress central government Janata Party came to power. It showed the central authority can change hands, and then coalition governments. With the rise of regional parties, government started forming alliances. This changed how center state and interstate relations worked. And the key issues include firstly autonomy, which in which states want more power and power sharing, how to balance center and state responsibilities, and disadvantaged groups or weaker section empowerment. And there was political empowerment of weaker section also affected how states interact. So reforms are needed to make interstate relations smooth and federalism stronger. So basically, federalism is a system where political power is shared between center and state governments. And in India, the concept of federalism evolved and became more defined over time. And after independence, the constitution adopted a federal form of government. But with a strong central authority, the framers of the Indian constitution they aim to create a cooperative federalism system where both the center and the states cooperate harmoniously. For this to succeed, the relationship between the center and the states, as well as among the states themselves, it must be smooth and collaborative. To ensure better cooperation and coordination, the Indian Constitution incorporates provisions such as Article 261, 262, 263, and 301 to 307. These provisions are designed to improve interstate relations and include Article 261, which ensures mutual recognition of public acts, records, and judicial proceedings between states, and Article 262, which provides mechanisms for resolving interstate water disputes, and Article 263, which allows the president to set up an interstate council to resolve disputes and promote coordination. Additionally, we also have institutions like interstate councils and zonal councils, which were established to foster cooperation and discuss the common issues. In the River Boards Act 1956 and the Water Disputes Act 1956, they were enacted to address the issues related to the control, distribution, and use of interstate rivers and helping resolve water disputes that arise between states. However, Indian federalism has faced challenges, especially with the rise of coalition governments, both at the center and in the states. This has put a strain on the system of governments. Given these complexities, it is essential to revisit and strengthen interstate relations to ensure that Indian federalism remains effective and resilient. So we have finished this unit. In the next class, let's discuss last 2 units. If you have any doubts, please ask me. So thank you then.